Your body is full of secrets. Did you know that simple little tests, things you can do right now while watching this video, can reveal just how rare and unique you really are? From the way your tongue folds, to the bend of your fingers, to how your brain and muscles work together. Your body is a walking mystery. And today, we're going to unlock them within next couple of minutes. So in this video, I'll share 20 plus fascinating body tests you can try right now, no equipment needed, that secretly prove how one of a kind you are. Some of these are so rare that less than 1% of the world's population can do them. Others might reveal surprising things about your flexibility, balance, or even hidden talents. So grab a seat, or stand up if you like, because we're about to begin a journey through your own body, like you've never experienced before. Ready? Let's test how unique you really are. Test 1, the tongue roll test. How to try it. Let's start with something you might think you know about yourself. Stick your tongue out and try to roll it into a tube shape. Can you do it? Try harder, some people need a few attempts. Why it makes you unique. Here's the fascinating part. Whether you can roll your tongue or not is determined by your genetics, but it's not as simple as scientists once thought. About 65 to 81% of people can do this, but here's where it gets interesting. Some people can do multiple rolls, some can only do one, and some can even fold their tongue in half. The exact shape and tightness of your tongue roll is like a fingerprint. But wait, there's more. Try rolling your tongue the opposite direction. Can you do it both ways? Only about 30% of tongue rollers are ambidextrous with their tongues. You're already starting to see how unique you are. Speaking of tongues, let's test something even more rare that happens right behind it. Comment below, did you pass this one? Let's see how many of these rare traits our viewers have. Test 2, the bitter taste test. How to try it. For this test, you'll need to imagine, or if you have some dark leafy greens like kale or Brussels sprouts nearby, take a tiny taste. Pay attention to how bitter it tastes to you on a scale of 1 to 10. Why it makes you unique. You're testing for something called PTC sensitivity, your ability to taste bitter compounds. About 25% of people are supertasters with extra taste buds, making bitter foods almost unbearably intense. Another 25% are non-tasters who barely detect bitterness at all. The remaining 50% are somewhere in between. This isn't just about food preferences, it affects everything from your alcohol tolerance to your risk of certain diseases. Supertasters often dislike coffee, dark chocolate, and wine, but they are also more sensitive to sweet and salty flavors too. Now that we've tested what's in your mouth, let's see what's happening with your eyes, and this one might make you feel like you have X-ray vision. Test 3, the dominant eye test. How to try it. Extend your arms and make a small triangle with your hands by overlapping your thumbs and index fingers. Look through this triangle at a distant object, like a doorknob or picture on the wall. Now close your left eye. Did the object stay in the triangle? Now open your left eye and close your right eye. Which eye kept the object centered? Why it makes you unique. The eye that kept the object centered is your dominant eye, and it's not always the same side as your dominant hand. About 90% of people are right-handed, but only about 67% are right eye dominant. This creates fascinating combinations: left-handed with right eye dominance, right-handed with left eye dominance, or even people with no clear eye dominance at all. Your eye dominance affects everything from how you aim a camera to which side of your face you prefer in photos. Athletes, surgeons, and marksmen all rely on knowing their eye dominance for peak performance. Your eyes are revealing more secrets than you think. Let's test something that will determine if you see the world differently than most people. Test 4, the after-image test. How to try it. Stare at a bright light bulb or lamp for 10 seconds, then immediately look at a white wall. What do you see? Now try this. Look at something red for 30 seconds, then look at a white surface. Why it makes you unique? The afterimage you see reveals the unique sensitivity of your cone cells, the parts of your eye that detect color. Some people see vivid, long-lasting afterimages in complementary colors, while others barely see anything at all. The intensity, duration, and exact colors you see are as unique as your fingerprint. This test is actually revealing your tetrachromacy potential. Some people, especially women, may have a fourth type of color receptor that allows them to see millions more colors than the average person. If your afterimages are particularly vivid or unusual, you might be among the rare few who see a richer world than the rest of us. Since we're exploring your superpowers, let's test whether you have incredible flexibility that most people have lost. Comment below, did you pass this one? Let's see how many of these rare traits our viewers have. Test 5, the thumb to wrist test. How to try it. Bend your hand backward and try to touch your thumb to your wrist on the same arm. Can you do it? How close can you get? Why it makes you unique. This tests for joint hypermobility, essentially, how bendy you are. About 10 to 25% of people can touch their thumb to their wrist, but the degree varies wildly. Some people can wrap their thumb completely around their wrist, while others can't even get close. This flexibility is connected to your collagen production and can indicate everything from increased injury risk to enhanced athletic ability in certain sports. Hypermobile people often excel at gymnastics, dance, and yoga, but may need to be more careful with their joints. Let's stay with flexibility but test a completely different part of your body that reveals ancient genetic traits. Test 6, the ear wiggle test. How to try it without using your hands. Try to move your ears. Focus on the muscles around your ears and try to wiggle them up, down, forward, or backward. Why it makes you unique. Ear wiggling is an evolutionary leftover from when our ancestors needed mobile ears to detect predators. Today, only about 10 to 20% of people can voluntarily move their ears, and the degree of control varies dramatically. Some people can move both ears independently, others can only move them together, and some can move them in different directions. This ability is controlled by the auricular muscles, which most humans have but can't consciously control. If you can wiggle your ears, you're literally using ancient survival muscles. Speaking of evolutionary leftovers, let's test for one of the most interesting genetic variations that affects how your body processes the world around you. Test 7, the asparagus smell test. How to try it. This one requires either eating asparagus or recalling the last time you did. After eating asparagus, does your urine have a strong, distinct smell within 15 to 30 minutes? Why it makes you unique. This test reveals not one, but two genetic variations. First, whether your body produces methanethiol when breaking down asparagus. About 40% of people don't produce the smell at all. Second, whether you can smell methanethiol. About 60% of people can't detect it even when it's present. This creates four distinct groups: producers who can smell it, producers who can't smell it, non-producers who can smell it in others, and non-producers who can't smell it at all. Your combination determines your entire relationship with this vegetable and reveals unique aspects of both your metabolism and your olfactory genetics. Let's move from smells to sounds and test something that might reveal you have superhuman hearing abilities. Comment below, did you pass this one? Let's see how many of these rare traits our viewers have. Test 8, the high-frequency hearing test. How to try it. If you have a smartphone, search for mosquito ringtone or high-frequency hearing test and play tones starting at 15,000 Hz. What's the highest frequency you can hear? Test each ear separately. Why it makes you unique. Your high-frequency hearing limit is incredibly personal and changes throughout your life. Most adults lose the ability to hear above 15,000 Hz, but some maintain hearing up to 20,000 Hz or higher. Teenagers can often hear frequencies that are completely silent to adults. Your maximum hearing frequency is determined by genetics, age, noise exposure, and even certain medications you've taken. Some people retain golden ears well into old age, while others lose high-frequency hearing in their 20s. This affects everything from how you enjoy music to whether you can hear electronic devices. Now let's test a physical trait that's so rare, most people don't even know it exists. Test 9. The Palmari's longest test. How to try it. Place your hand flat on a table, palm up. Touch your pinky finger to your thumb, and lift your hand slightly off the table while keeping your fingertips touching. Look at your wrist. Do you see a prominent tendon sticking up in the middle? Why it makes you unique? That tendon belongs to the Palmari's longest muscle, and here's the amazing part, about 14% of people are missing it entirely. Some people have it in one arm but not the other. This muscle was useful for our tree-climbing ancestors but is now considered vestigial. If you're missing this tendon, don't worry, it doesn't affect your grip strength or hand function at all. Surgeons actually harvest this tendon for reconstructive surgeries because losing it causes no problems. You're carrying around either a piece of evolutionary history or proof that your body has already optimized itself for modern life. Let's test another evolutionary leftover, but this one might actually give you a slight superpower. Test 10. The Goosebumps on Command test. How to try it without changing the temperature or touching your skin. Try to give yourself goosebumps just by thinking about it. Focus on the feeling and see if you can make the hair on your arms stand up. Why it makes you unique? The ability to consciously trigger goosebumps is incredibly rare. Only about 2 to 3% of people can do this on command. It's called voluntary piloerection, and scientists still don't fully understand how some people can consciously control what's supposed to be an involuntary response. People who can do this often report they can also trigger the sensation while listening to music, thinking about emotional moments, or even just focusing on the physical sensation. Some describe it as being able to release endorphins at will. If you can do this, you have conscious control over a system that most people can't even influence. Let's test your body's symmetry with something that might surprise you about your own balance. Test 11. The standing balance test. How to try it. Stand on one foot with your eyes closed. Time how long you can maintain your balance. Try it with both feet. Then try standing on one foot with your eyes open and your head tilted back. Why it makes you unique. Your balance is controlled by 3 systems: vision, inner ear, and proprioception, body awareness. The combination of how these work together is completely unique to you. Some people can balance for minutes with their eyes closed, others wobble immediately. Your balance signature is affected by everything from your foot shape to your brain processing speed. Athletes, dancers, and people who practice yoga often develop enhanced proprioception, but some people are just naturally gifted with superior balance systems. Age, inner ear health, and even your sleep quality last night all affect your performance. Speaking of things that are affected by your brain, let's test a reflex that reveals something fascinating about your nervous system. Test 12. The knee-jerk reflex variation. Test how to try it. Sit in a chair with your legs hanging freely. Have someone tap just below your kneecap with the side of their hand or a book. Notice not just whether your leg kicks, but how high and how quickly it responds. Why it makes you unique. Everyone knows about the knee-jerk reflex, but the intensity and speed of your response is highly individual. Some people have hyperactive reflexes that cause their leg to kick dramatically, others have sluggish reflexes, and some have asymmetrical reflexes between their left and right sides. Your reflex intensity is determined by the sensitivity of your nervous system, the efficiency of your neural pathways, and even your current stress level. Athletes often have faster reflexes, while fatigue or certain conditions can slow them down. The exact timing and force of your reflex is like a signature of your nervous system's current state. Let's test something that connects your nervous system to a trait that most people think is just psychological. Test 13, the tickle sensitivity test. How to try it. Lightly run a feather or soft brush across different parts of your body, your palm, the bottom of your foot, your neck, your ribs. Rate the ticklish sensation from 1 to 10 in each location. Can you tickle yourself? Why it makes you unique. Ticklishness is one of the most mysterious and individual traits we have. The distribution of your ticklish spots is as unique as your fingerprints, and the intensity varies wildly between people. Some people are ticklish everywhere, others only in specific spots, and a rare few aren't ticklish at all. Your tickle response is controlled by two different neural pathways, one for light touch, lismesis, and one for harder pressure, gargalesis. Most people can't tickle themselves because their brain predicts the sensation, but about 15% of people retain some self-tickling ability. This might be connected to enhanced creativity and different brain wiring patterns. Let's explore another sensory mystery that reveals how your brain processes the world differently. Test 14, the phantom vibration test. How to try it. Put your phone in your pocket and leave it there without checking it for 10 minutes. During this time, pay attention to any sensations in your pocket. Do you feel your phone vibrating when it's not? How often does this happen to you normally? Why it makes you unique. Phantom vibration syndrome affects about 80% of people, but the frequency and intensity vary dramatically. Some people feel phantom vibrations multiple times per day, others rarely or never experience them. This reveals unique aspects of how your brain processes sensory information and expectations. Your susceptibility to phantom vibrations is connected to your anxiety levels, how attached you are to your device, and your brain's pattern recognition sensitivity. Some people's brains are hypervigilant for phone notifications, while others are remarkably resistant to false alarms. This extends beyond phones to other phantom sensations throughout your life. Speaking of how your brain creates sensations, let's test something that will reveal whether you experience the world in multiple dimensions. Test 15, the synesthesia screening test. How to try it. Look at these letters and numbers: A, B, C, 2, 5, 8. Do any of them have consistent colors in your mind? When you hear music, do you see shapes or colors? When you read, do words have tastes or textures? Think about the word velvet. Does it have a color or location in space around you? Why it makes you unique. Synesthesia occurs when one sense triggers another, seeing colors when hearing music, tasting flavors when reading words, or feeling personalities in numbers. About 2 to 4% of people have some form of synesthesia, but there are over 80 different types identified so far. If you have synesthesia, your neural connections are literally wired differently than most people. You might see the number 5 as always being blue, taste the word hello as chocolate, or see music as flowing geometric patterns. Each synesthete's experiences are completely unique. No two people with number-color synesthesia see the same colors for the same numbers. Let's test another rare neurological trait that might explain some mysterious experiences you've had. Test 16, the sleep paralysis susceptibility test. How to try it. Think about your sleep patterns. Do you ever wake up unable to move? Have you experienced feeling awake but paralyzed, sometimes with a sense of presence in the room? Do you fall asleep quickly in unusual positions or locations? Why it makes you unique. Sleep paralysis affects about 8% of people regularly, but susceptibility varies greatly. Some people experience it multiple times per week, others once in their lifetime. Your susceptibility is linked to your REM sleep patterns, stress levels, and genetic predisposition. People prone to sleep paralysis often have more flexible boundaries between sleep states. They might be more likely to lucid dream, experience hypnagogic hallucinations, or have unusual sleep experiences. This isn't just about sleep, it reveals fundamental differences in how your brain transitions between consciousness states. Since we're exploring consciousness, let's test something that reveals how your brain processes time itself. Test 17. The internal clock test. How to try it without looking at any clocks or timing devices. Try to estimate when exactly 60 seconds have passed. Start now. Pause stop when you think a minute is up. Then check how close you were. Try it again with 30 seconds, then 2 minutes. Why it makes you unique. Your internal clock accuracy is remarkably personal and reveals fascinating things about your brain. Some people are accurate within seconds, while others are off by 50% or more. This isn't just about time, it reflects your brain's processing speed, attention focus, and neural efficiency. Musicians often have more accurate internal clocks, as do people with ADHD, though in complex ways. Your time perception changes with age, mood, medication, and even body temperature. Some people naturally think in precise temporal units, while others live in a more fluid time perception. This affects everything from your punctuality to how you experience music and conversation rhythms. Time perception connects to something even more fundamental. Let's test how your body naturally wants to move through space. Comment below, did you pass this one? Let's see how many of these rare traits our viewers have. Test 18. The natural gait analysis. How to try it. Walk naturally across a room while paying attention to your stride. Do you land on your heel or the ball of your foot first? Do you swing your arms symmetrically? Take your shoes off and walk again. Does anything change? Try walking to music with different tempos. Why it makes you unique. Your natural gait is as unique as your signature and reveals incredible amounts about your body mechanics, personality, and health. Some people are natural heel strikers, others are forefoot landers. Your arm swing, step length, and rhythm create a walking pattern that's identifiable from great distances. Your gait reflects your bone structure, muscle development, previous injuries, and even your confidence level. People can often be identified just by their walking pattern, and your gait efficiency affects your energy expenditure throughout the day. Some people have naturally efficient, graceful movement patterns, while others work harder for the same locomotion. Movement patterns extend beyond walking. Let's test a coordination skill that separates people into distinct categories. Test 19. The hand independence test. How to try it. Try patting your head with one hand, while rubbing your stomach in circles with the other. Can you do it? Now try writing your name with your dominant hand while drawing a circle with your non-dominant hand. Try drumming different rhythms with each hand simultaneously. Why it makes you unique. Hand independence reveals the unique wiring between your brain hemispheres. Some people can easily perform completely different tasks with each hand, while others struggle with even simple combinations. This isn't just about coordination, it reflects how well your brain can manage multiple motor programs simultaneously. Musicians, particularly pianists and drummers, often develop exceptional hand independence, but some people have natural bilateral coordination that's almost superhuman. Your ability level affects everything from typing efficiency to sports performance to how easily you can multitask physical activities. Let's test another type of coordination that connects your brain directly to your breathing. Test 20. The voluntary breath hold test. How to try it. Take a normal breath, then hold it for as long as comfortably possible. Time yourself, but don't push to the point of discomfort. Try it again after taking 3 deep breaths first. Notice how your body feels during the breath hold. Why it makes you unique. Breath hold capacity varies enormously between people and reveals your respiratory efficiency, lung capacity, and oxygen utilization. Average untrained adults hold their breath for 30 seconds to 2 minutes, but this can be dramatically improved with practice. Your breath hold ability is determined by lung volume, blood oxygen levels, carbon dioxide tolerance, and mental focus. Some people naturally have higher CO2 tolerance, allowing longer holds with less discomfort. This connects to everything from your altitude adaptation to your stress response patterns. Free divers can hold their breath for over 10 minutes, showing the incredible plasticity of this system. Breathing connects to our final test, which might reveal the most surprising thing about your unique biology. Comment below, did you pass this one? Let's see how many of these rare traits our viewers have. Test 21. The heart rate variability test. How to try it? Find your pulse on your wrist or neck. Count the beats for 60 seconds, but pay attention to the spacing between beats. Are they perfectly even, or do you notice slight variations? Try this while breathing normally, then while taking slow, deep breaths. Notice if the rhythm changes with your breathing. Why it makes you unique. Heart rate variability, HRV, is one of the most important yet overlooked measures of your unique physiology. Most people think a healthy heart beats like a metronome, but actually, a healthy heart has subtle variations in timing between beats. Your HRV pattern is as unique as your fingerprint. High HRV generally indicates better stress resilience, recovery ability, and overall health. Some people naturally have very high variability, others have more steady rhythms. Your HRV changes with breathing, stress, fitness level, and even your thoughts. Elite athletes often monitor HRV to optimize training, and it's becoming recognized as one of the best indicators of your autonomic nervous system health. Now that you've completed all these tests, let's talk about what this all means. And there you have it, 20 plus fascinating body tests that secretly prove how unique you are. Some of these quirks are genetic, some are about flexibility, some are tied to rare reflexes. But together, they remind us that every single human being is truly one of a kind. Tell me in the comments, right pointing finger emoji, how many of these tests could you do? Right pointing finger emoji, which one surprised you the most? Don't forget to hit like if you enjoyed testing yourself today, subscribe to She Speaks Anyways, and share this video with friends, challenge them to see how unique they are too. Remember, there is no one else in the world exactly like you. And that's your superpower. Until next time, stay curious, stay proud, and stay unique.